Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Inside the Paintballers studio. Today I have a young gentleman with me today. He is literally one of the world's best paintball players. He's been called that on many occasions. Some of his opponents might not like to hear that, but it's very, very close to being true. If it is not true, definite. He is an adventurer. He is almost, I would say, on a scholarly level with regards to his life experiences and his way of seeing life within itself. And he is also a cool dude. He's also a budding actor, being in a recent zombie movie. And I'm not sure if he has more goals to continue that. But being the pretty boy that he is, he would look perfect within those roles. But we'd miss him in paintball if he did pursue that lifestyle. Can we please have a round of applause for Mr. Oliver Cameron Lamb? How you doing?
Thanks, brother. Good to see
you again.
You as well.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. A year.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Lots changed for you in a year.
Yeah, it's been a good year.
First, let's start from the basics. Where did a young lad named Oliver grow up?
I grew up outside of San Francisco in a really beautiful place called Marin County, Sausalito, California.
Now, Marin County, is that off the coast? Is that off the water?
It's literally right across the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's not a bad spot.
It's a super spot.
Very cultural.
Yeah, it's
very
incredible, beautiful nature. It's got, you're right next to the city.
When did you discover this crazy sport we know as paintball?
It's a good question, I think I was planted seeds through some sort of television show, like a real world show, something like that. And I'd seen it and I said, I'd like to try that. And then, of course, there's a progression. You play laser tag a few times and then, someone says something about paintball and you say, I think paintball is where it should be, So then we played paintball once or twice and then it was, roller coaster ride after that.
Why, first of all, family, brothers, sisters?
I have some half brothers, but not very close. Just mainly myself and my mother as well.
Okay.
So friends were a big aspect to my life. They were considerably my family.
There's a few of us who just grew up with moms, isn't there?
Moms are the best.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a mama's boy from what I
I'm a supreme mama's boy. I love it.
Yeah, and from what my experience is, the gentlemen like myself and you and Ryan, who are mama's boys per se, really know how to treat ladies.
I love ladies.
I love them too.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about that.
There's something to be said about that.
What does she think about this crazy sport that you play?
She absolutely loves it. She loves it. She's loved it since the beginning. She's always been a huge supporter of anything that I do, which is
that's good.
Such a blessing to have a mother like that. And, for all other mothers out there, you never know what's going to happen with your children. And it's just so nice to have that support. I couldn't have asked for a better situation of a mother.
You started reffing at this place called SC Village many moons ago.
Actually, Mare Island.
Oh, is that where?
Mare Island, yeah.
Goodness gracious. How did that affect your approach to the game?
Well, that was a big, that was the way of supplementing the income in order to play paintball. You understand, So,
that's a very common story.
So a lot of people, they always ask me, how did you play? How did you start? And yada, yada, how'd you afford it? Of course, I had a mother that helped me afford it. But for the most part, it was ref Saturday, play Sunday, get free entrance to the field, work my butt off, and I only got half a case of paint in order to play.
Really?
Yeah. You know.
Goodness.
I mean,
I'm sure that made you have to choose your shots wisely.
Yeah. It was Sunday was mainly a loader only per game. You know.
Wow.
And so that teaches you a lot. It
Patience.
does. It teaches you quite a bit. Yeah, patience and just how to get a little sneaky, how to work on your shots a little bit more. Obviously, it's a different story now.
Who does a person like Oliver Lang look up to? Who inspires him? When you don't necessarily have a dad around, as I didn't, who inspired you to be who you are now?
Well, a lot of I've always been gravitated towards more mature, older men that were friends. You know, they were my, so to say, role models who were just older players within the sport or players outside of or people outside of the sport who, you know, ran businesses or did whatever it was. I was always gravitated. I could, you know, tell a good quality person. And so, you know, Shane Pastano was a big one, of course. And I have a few other people who names you wouldn't really remember but they're outstanding human beings, outstanding men, male figures who, you know, who have withhold a family and hold a business. And
well, even if I don't know them, you can feel free to say who they are.
Yeah, there's
they might see this.
A few different ones, but one of them's a gentleman by the name of Slocum Hewsome. He was an artist, and you know he converted his lifestyle into a more natural, more authentic way of living. And people like this, you know, I'm gravitated to because I see them and I see what they're doing, and I say, you know, I want to live like that. I want to be like that. You know, my role models have been people that genuinely who have molded me and crafted me into who I am.
That's good to have.
Absolutely. It's the most important thing to have. That's why it's such an important thing for myself to take upon that role for any younger generations.
You're known not also as a paintballer, but as an entrepreneur, you're not doing too badly. If you don't want to get into specifics, but how is it that you were able to lead so many lives, not only in paintball, but in your personal business life?
Well, you know, this whole life is it's a dance. It's a total art. And once you become good at one thing, it's super easy to transition it over into other things. And it really just trickles down into everything you do, whether it's just being a good person or a good friend or, you know, a good neighbor, whatever it is. Once you understand the mechanics behind, you know, the work that's involved with achieving a high level of something, whether it's a sport or becoming an entrepreneur or becoming a whatever it may be.
Yes.
It's easy to take those things and look at it and say, okay, look, now I can apply it to this.
Yes.
You know, and that's, you know, just a real trick in life. You don't have to be something your whole entire life, but you can use that to roll it over into these other things and make everything, you know, a huge dance, a huge, you know, painting, so to say.
In your paintball career, some would say that you might seem polarizing in certain aspects of the game.
Polarizing.
You're a passionate player beyond belief.
Right.
You don't like to lose. You love to win. But at the same time, you can appreciate the loss and learn from it.
Right.
Your move from dynasty to the ironmen was a significant one in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Rocked a lot of foundations. Without getting into specifics, we don't talk about pay and supposed this or that. As you as a person, what would make you leave one established team and go to another? Is it appreciation? Is it just wanting a different experience? Is it that challenge?
I mean, without a doubt, it's the challenge, you know. Dynasty is dynasty, and they're always going to be good. They've got a core group of guys. They understand how it works in order, you know, what it takes to win and how to bring new guys on. And my thing was, you know, I've always wanted to be the best in the world at this sport at a young age. That was my goal. I don't know if that was a long shot or what it was, but that was my goal. And so as the years are evolving and, you know, things are changing and I get the opportunity to play for Ironman at a young age, it's like, yeah, you got to take it. This is part of the evolution and a step to the higher picture of the goal of what you want to achieve. And then it's back to dynasty to win. And then it's the next step. What's the next step? And that's what you always got to be looking for. You can't always be stuck in the same, routine. Not necessarily that if it's a bad routine, it's just always about the next thing that you can do to raise your level and raise other people's levels around you. And so my next thing was go back to die, work for them, become an Ironman again when Ironman was, not at its best. And then to grow the team, build the team, integrate other pro players that I believed were essential parts to the puzzle, and build a winning team. And that was my next challenge to myself. And that's what I did. And we did it 2 years in a row. We won World Cup. We won the series. So, okay, what's the next step? Do I sit around here and become old again? No, I go back to Dynasty, and it's the next challenge. It's constant evolution. It's constant flow. It's constant movement. Otherwise, you just get stagnant. You see a lot of teams that happens to. You see a lot of players that happens to.
You have to be pretty secure within yourself to take a challenge like that.
Yeah, and I'm all about challenging myself because I know that if I can achieve it, I know I can do it. It's just, am I going to be able to face the facts and actually do it? So, and anybody, that goes for you, that goes for anybody watching. You have the capabilities of achieving any sort of greatness. And it's just, are you actually willing to try it?
Well, that's the difference between those who do and those who don't, right?
Yeah, but I feel so strongly about that because everybody can. It's just, there's a fear, they don't, and there's a fear factor, and it's been ingrained in you for a long time, whether it's your family or whether it's other friends or whether it's society, that you're not good enough, that you're not pretty enough, that you're not strong enough, and that just don't even try.
And the scary thing is that's the majority of society,
right?
Who's afraid to do that. Oliver Lang shook the industry almost a year ago when he announced to the world he's leaving paintball. Some assumed it was going to be for good. Some knew that it would never be for good. But you went on a pilgrimage of sorts. You went on a journey. Did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to really look for anything. It's just...
it's more of a symbolic find what you're looking for.
Totally. Well, that's what people are always mistaken about, where it's like, oh, you have to have this big spiritual awakening or this big, It's not even about that. It's just that there is a path and you have to take it, okay? So regardless of what's on that path is you just do it, So you're not searching for anything, and there's no big outcome to this whole thing. It's just the journey is the outcome,
Yes, it's not about the destination. It's about what takes
along
place
the way
to get there. I had a funny conversation with Mark from HK Army, and I asked him where you were, and he goes, bro, Ollie is somewhere where he doesn't get a cell phone signal right now. And I was like, can you tell me some of the places you visited?
Yeah, well, it all kind of just happened. Also,
which is amazing.
This wasn't a planned endeavor, and it was actually quite beautiful how it happened. I started off actually in Germany, and I did a month-long training session with a team. And so, I've lived in California my whole life. I've traveled quite a bit, but what's the next thing of traveling? It's living in different countries. I thought I knew traveling. I didn't know anything about traveling until you really get on the ground with people and you live in there with them doing it. And so Germany was outstanding to live there. I mean, it was only for a month, but for a month I was, I had a nice routine. I knew
Sprechen
things.
Sie Deutsch?
No Deutsch, no.
Okay.
It's a tough language.
I
went from Germany, I went to Peru, then I went to Bali, and I was going to spend, I was only supposed to spend 2 months in Bali.
Bali's hard to
But Bali
leave.
was
I've been there myself.
incredible.
Yeah, I've been there
and
myself.
the more I started being in Bali, the more I felt I was really becoming myself. And I was being very healthy. I started eradicating, things out of my life that were unnecessary, that weren't necessarily bringing me to my highest possibilities,
Amazing.
And so I had a lot of internal shifts then, and then I moved on. I went to Burma, then I went to Nepal, and then I went to India.
India, I've had the pleasure of being to. Bali, I've had the pleasure of being to. The culture is so much different between places like that and coming from California. Must have been crazy. Like, I remember being in Bali and seeing that the fathers were almost the primary caregivers of the kids there. And India, I mean, even just the aroma of getting off the plane and I don't want to call it poor, but the difference in the lifestyle between that and North America is somewhat of an eye-opening adventure.
Oh, it's a huge eye-opening adventure. It's because those countries are so different, and it's shattering to see it.
Yeah.
But that's the real world. I don't know if we live in the real world or they live in the real world. And either way,
perception is a big thing.
Either way, you have to, it's just reality, and you got to learn how to deal with it, and you got to learn how to love it. And some of these people have nothing, and they seem extremely happy. Whereas you're over here, and these people have everything and they don't seem very happy.
Yes.
So it's the search for happiness is an incredible enigma. In this Western
As I
world.
like to say, it's within yourself.
Totally.
And it's a lot of people who have no clue.
Totally.
But do you think that changed you as a person?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. It's all about changing your patterns.
Okay.
And that was a big change for my patterns. My patterns for the last 10, 15 years have been, relatively different than other people's, I would say. But still, it was my cyclical pattern. And I was traveling, come home, drink beer, do this, party, do this, go here, go back, And so it was nice to, just dispel of everything that I had been doing, not going to the same places, not seeing the same people, not, eating the same food. Totally different, I had to evolve with it, and I had to make the best of it in tough situations. And when you're put into a corner, I feel that I battle my way out best. I think most human beings do too, but they never really want to allow themselves to be put into that corner. So traveling is an interesting life giving thing, because you have missed airplanes, you got long bus rides, you got terrible food, you got people stealing stuff from you, you got things breaking, you don't know, there's just an uncertainty about it. And traveling allows you just to be like, and just really hone in on well, actually, yeah, absolutely, you're alive, and you can start to balance and really hone in on your, what I would call Zen, because these things come at you in so many ways that you can't be prepared for it. And so when these things happen, you just allow them to happen, and there's no way of changing it, and you just continue to move on. Whereas before, things in the West, everything affects you. Someone's late. Oh my God! It's
the end of the world.
And so it's a nice thing to be able to incorporate these traveling gems into my real life.
You came back from your sabbatical, traveled back, got back into the game. There's a phew throughout the paintball world because they thought they lost you. And then you managed to pull off somewhat of a insanely good win at this nice tournament called World Cup not too long ago.
That little one, yeah.
That little one. That was quite an achievement.
Yeah, it was huge.
I saw a video of you. You were almost in tears, hugging your teammates, thanking them individually. That was a touching thing to see.
Absolutely.
You don't see that from a lot of people nowadays. You could tell that meant something to you.
Huge.
Did it? After all these wins that you've had, after all this adventure, after all these trophies you've won throughout your career, and you've had a significant amount of wins, losses, You've been on the podium many times. Why did this one seem like it was that much more?
Well, it's a super good question.
I'm not even into that world, and I felt emotional when I saw you thanking your teammates.
There's just a lot of beautiful moments that happen along the way, and until you win, they don't really make sense. You know what I'm saying? There's like a lot of, it's a lot of crap that goes into that point. I mean, you got practices, you got airplane flights, you got bad food, you got, these negative people, these things against you, these odds. And then really the only thing that matters are your boys, your teammates. And so, when you lose, it's just kind of like, oh man, we were this close, we could have been better, what are the reasons? And you can blame. But when you win, it's like, okay, all this nonsense, all this noise, all this heartache, it makes sense, and there's a bigger picture to it. And, you don't really understand that until you are at that point where you've committed to doing something this length. And then when you win the World Cup, it's so nice to look at your teammates and your buddies who are in the same boat as you, who have been struggling and who have been working hard. And when you achieve it, it's like, there's nothing better than a good cry. Everybody loves a good cry, but unfortunately, now we have to cry about something bad that's happened. But when you win, you can cry about just the beauty of the experience of it.
It's the ultimate release of emotion.
Oh, absolutely. And so that cry at the end is like, just the best.
I got to tell you that it moved me because it reminded me of when Jordan won the NBA Finals. And from what I remember, his father recently died. And when he won that, he got the trophy and he hugged it and he laid down on the court and he was crying.
Right.
And Pippen was patting him on the back.
Yeah, that was a good moment. I don't even think I held the trophy.
I saw a lot of pictures of Ryan holding the trophy, but
to me, there's a much bigger analogy and metaphor than the trophy. And I know exactly what you're saying. And for sure, it's just been a long road, and it's been a long time. And these guys on Dynasty, they're so good, they're so talented, and it's just nice to be able to come and kind of give them a little poke and see, like, look, guys, look what you can do if you apply yourself, and look at what it's brought us. Yes. And we still won by a nail biter. We would have gone into overtime and beat them anyways.
Fair enough. Yes, that would be part of the polarizing thing people are talking about. That's good. Hey, there's nothing wrong with confidence. I think a lot of people in this world, one of the things I say, especially being who I am, one of the things about confidence is that people who don't have confidence will mistake confidence for pride. You know what I mean? They can't see the difference between being confident and being egotistical.
Totally.
And there's a huge difference in your personal life and in your professional life where you can be confident and not be worried about seeing.
Totally. Well, confidence, like you said, it's that inner thing, like you don't have to do anything because you're confident. It's within inside of you. And if you lose or something bad happens to you, you're okay with it, because there's another day, there's another time, there's another event that you can rise to the occasion. Whereas in ego and pride, it's so external, and you do it for other reasons, other people's purposes, to impress or whatnot,
I have a few questions I would like to ask you.
Sure.
They're inspired by one of the true greats of interviews, Bernard Kivo. Just some, quick little one-answer questions. Play around with, see what's working in that marvelous brain of yours. What is your most favorite physical object in the world?
I have a beautiful turtle shell comb that I found along my journeys.
Really? Outstanding.
It's amazing.
What is Your most favorite thing to hear a person say?
I love you.
How basic is that? I love that. What is your least favorite thing to hear a person say?
Yeah, I can't do that. Or no, yeah. No, I can't do that. Impossible.
Just that simplistic negativity someone could have.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
This doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Why live like that? What in this world, what is music to your ears? What is something you love to hear?
I love to hear the sound of nature.
Ah, nice. Say if you're traveling, do you do one of those like nature sound things in the hotels and stuff like that?
No. I go out.
You need the authentic.
I like to live under the stars and in
Nice.
nature, as
Nice.
submerged as possible, as away from human beings as possible.
I like that. I should do more of that. That's pretty good. What's something that you love a lot other than paintball to do?
Well, being in nature.
Fair enough. Now, when you say, are you like a camping man?
No,
Are you
I like
a
to go
hiking
do
man?
hikes, and I like to go to pretty far out places and just be there,
Yeah.
see it, take it in, see the majesty of it all,
Okay.
take in the sights, take in the fresh air, listen to the sounds.
Did you get to go to Bombay in your travels?
I was in Bombay, yeah. Not too much nature there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's quite an experience with itself, but yet it is nature in a way, though.
Yes, it's
You know what I
human
mean?
nature, yeah.
It is, and it's a scary thing, but it is what it is. The world is a scary place. What was your worst job that you've ever done?
Blockbuster video,
Really? Why would you say that?
by far.
Oh, really? See, the thing is, I almost dreamed at one point of working there because I'm a movie buff. So I would like be that guy standing in there telling other people what they should and should not watch.
You don't want to be there.
That's good to know.
Actually, it was a great job because it made me realize that I never want to work a job like that ever again.
Well, hey, that's not a problem now. So it's a whole different world now. What was something you have gained from being a part of paintball?
Ooh, so many things. But yeah, I would say the ability to travel in the essence of it, because I would have traveled either way. I believe that's just kind of something that's deeply embedded within me. But paintball in the beginning just allowed me to have the wings to go places and to be there, And I've seen a lot of incredible cities and sites that I probably wouldn't have seen if I didn't play paintball, And then, of course, along the way, it's the hospitality of the people that have invited me, and those are the very, very rich parts of the game or of this lifestyle.
Your thing in life, something that you felt that you sacrificed due to paintball.
I mean, I don't think there's a sacrifice, really. It's all a trade. I mean, I haven't had very many intimate relationships long-term with women, but I got time for that.
You're a young man. You're really young.
Yeah.
If you should ever settle down one day and have a young Oliver Lang or Olivia Lang, would you like them to experience that which is paintball?
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing is to allow my future offspring to do whatever they want to do and support them. So if they want to play paintball, they can play paintball. If they don't want to play paintball, they don't play paintball.
And mom's not bugging you for a grandkid yet?
No,
or?
that's actually one of the only reasons I would, at any rate, try to expedite that.
Okay.
But again, there's a lot of moving pieces involved, and you have to find somebody first that you want to do that with. And
Yeah.
there's no need to really just jump into that. I'm everything I've ever done in my life, I've done it because I've wanted to do it when I wanted to do it, and I was going to do it really, really good. And
Wow.
so, having children one day is it's my big deal. Yeah.
Further, last but not least, of course, where do you see Mr. Oliver Lang being 5 years from now? I know it's hard to say.
I don't know where I'm going to be in 10 minutes.
Fair enough. Why limit yourself, right?
So many possibilities, and there's so many things that I want to do, and I'm at the stage in my life now where enough is enough. I'm going to go attack everything that I want to do. So no say in 5 years, but I'll tell you, I'll be doing something really, really, really fun, cool, exciting, special for myself, special for other people.
Are we staying in paintball for the next season? Are we still playing it by ear? Are we committed to anything?
Yeah, my new thing is to live very spontaneously and be very flexible, you know.
Does that not drive your sponsors a little crazy?
I mean, you know, I think I drive everybody crazy.
Fair enough.
You know,
it's kind of hard to argue with that one. You got a few very interesting critics out there who think that, you know, style of play is a little harsh. But my thing is, if you don't have a critic, you're probably not doing anything if it's fun.
I'd like to know what the critics are saying.
I think it's more of he takes himself too serious. He's a little too. But as I said before, people mistake passion for such things.
Well, you know, it's just so funny. It's like in life, I mean, you can't really judge anybody or think anything about anybody because you don't know them, you know? And
welcome to my world, sir.
Yeah, so, you know, it's so funny. Like, my whole thing is just make everything fresh and everything brand new. Even if I think I have a judgment upon anything, it's to allow it to be new. And so it's funny, you know, people think they take myself too seriously. Don't get me wrong. There's moments that I should be serious.
Why not?
But for the majority of it.
Well, I've got to hang out with you on many occasions, and I've seen from firsthand that you're a very easygoing individual.
Thank you, brother.
And you're also a very spiritual individual. And when I say spiritual, it doesn't mean a God-fearing, specific God-fearing man per se, but you have a good grasp on what's really important in life. And, you know, that says a lot of things about a person.
Thank you, brother.
So I hope you continue on this path that you're going, and may it be paintball or may it not, please share with us what you do.
For sure.
I think we hear, both of us hear from many, many people that they live vicariously through what we do, because not many people do what we do. And, you know, I was envious of your trip the other day. Got to see some of those pictures and the very interesting things that you were doing. I was like, damn, to be able to pick up and split for a little while, that's like huge.
It's super huge, super difficult, extremely scary, but and very, very necessary.
Nice.
For everybody.
It's been a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Please give a hand for this gentleman here, Mr. Oliver Lang. And well done, buddy. Well done. Let's do it again. This is inside the Paintballers studio. Nice way to end it. This gentleman is crazy. Is there any way people can follow you or anything?
Do you have like an Arsenio Hall pump yet?
No, we're not
like
doing that.
No,
not yet. No. We're trying to keep. No. We're trying to keep it classy right now.
No way to really follow me. I'm gonna be building a website soon, so keep it on olielang.com.
There we go. Thank you very much for joining us this special event. We're at Paintball Explosion. And I want to say thank you to JLZ Photography, Inspire Photography, Becca, Paintball Explosion, all those involved, and Matthew Watts for helping script. And that's a wrap. Booyah. Good night.